Yes, and we're back. You are listening to IBGR.network. IBGR is a call sign as a radio station, but of course we're so much more than a radio station. And we're global now in 161 countries around the world. There is listeners listening in every single week. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm your host, Jan Robberts, the inspirational entrepreneur, and this is episode 9 already. Today I'm talking into choices and decisions, but also in the choices and decisions you must make on looking after yourself better. Because how is that going? How is your health going? How is your health plan coming along? In personal development, I talked about this, about the personal growth plan, but here is especially your health plan, which is of course part of your personal growth, because health-wise you go up or you go down. You never stay level. If you do nothing at all, then we're in trouble. You know, we need to keep active in all of those kind of areas as well. So I'm talking into the decisions and the choices we have to make, and as an entrepreneur especially, how many of us forget to look after ourselves, forget to eat sometimes because we're on the run, forget to exercise because we have no time, and we make excuses for what? We make excuses about one of the most, if not the most important thing in our life. And that's our health. Because we certainly cannot do anything to our capacity, to our full capacity. We can never grow into our potential as an entrepreneur if you're ill, if you're stressed out, if you're burned out, or if you're dead. That's a full stop. We need to make that dash in between count a little bit more. And the only way we can make that count more is not to spend longer hours in the office and spend longer doing more stressful things. No, to become more effective and be healthier, because when we become healthier, we get more energy to do things in a shorter period of time. I hope that makes sense. So, the first one I'm going to talk about is eating habits. They say you are what you eat. How your diet is actually a major part of self-care, and it's an aspect you should be much, much, much more aware about. See, when you ask people about foods that make them feel good, you get answers like a juicy steak, a large burger dripping with cheese, a serious helping of lasagna. I like that. I like all of the ones before as well, or an extremely delicious dessert, cakes or chocolates. Now, there's nothing wrong with any of that. However, consistently indulging in these delicacies is not self-care. If you don't believe, because we start to justify it, I deserve it. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to live longer too. But if you don't believe me about this, go and watch Super Size Me if you've never watched that. You see what happens when you consistently eat the wrong kind of food. Now, I'm not saying you can never go to a fast food restaurant, eat microwave dinners or indulge, but everything in moderation. See, healthy, nutritious foods are one of nature's best gifts to us. Make a habit out of consuming good, nutritious food that builds your body instead of processed foods full of letters, numbers, and chemicals that are destructive to your well-being. And that might take a little bit of investigation, but ping dinners, pizzas, processed meat, all those other kind of stuff, do we really need that much of it? Could we not, I say in moderation, that doesn't mean that we have to eat it once every 6 years. No, you can eat, but probably most of us need to eat a lot less of those kind of things that we do at the moment. And it's changed, but there's all kinds of excuses which I'll come to just now, because are we not ever so slightly hypocritical when we judge others on matters regarding health, even bullying or making derogatory comments while we do not practice what we preach? And this happens a lot just now, especially in the situation we're in. People are for and against certain stuff, and it gets like this, and they start name calling, and they say that you have to do this because it's for your health. But then you meet them in the supermarket, and then you look in the trolley and see what happens there, and you think, okay, that's interesting. You're telling me that I need to do this for my health, even though I am doing this for my health, but we've got different opinions. And then this is the kind of stuff you put in your trolley. It starts at home, huh? So that's why self-care actually begins at home with self. That's why it's self-care. I know it's logical, but there are so many amazing benefits from healthy eating, while this is often overlooked. And it's overlooked for a variety of reasons. There's no time. No time for your health. Have you got more time for stress, eating on the run, or forget to eat altogether? Is that what you do? Is that what you need to continue doing? Or it doesn't taste good? Mostly an excuse as we're used to convenience foods. I mean, of course, you can make it taste any way you want. It's not just boiled vegetables and cabbage. There is so much healthy food and so many healthy ways to prepare it. Artie is actually amazing in preparing absolutely stunning food in a very healthy way. Convenience. It's an excuse. We have no time, so ping dinners, takeaways. Nothing wrong with them, in moderation, but not every single day. And then, of course, health food is too expensive. Compared to what? Your health? Healthy food isn't. What happens when your health suffers over time because you bad eating habits? How expensive is that going to be? Medical bills from diabetes, heart problems, closing arteries, overweight, and other restrictions because of your health. How expensive are those again? You might not know yet, and you don't ever want to find out. Your dietary needs and eating habits are an important part of self-care. Make a list of all the things you eat and drink. That's why I've got water here beside me all the time. I need to be reminded all the time to drink more water and then look at its health benefits. When you become aware of your dietary consumption, you might have to make some important lifestyle choices and decisions, what I talked about at the beginning. Now then we have another area is your physical health. So you need to pay attention to your physical health, of course. Physical health is another core part of self-care. So the body and the mind have unique connections, and that's difficult to be in high spirits when you're not feeling good about your body. How often have we even talk about the previous episode, even ate too much, and we sit there blubbering on the sofa, and you're tired and you don't want to give up anymore. It happens, but research shows that regular exercise increases the level of serotonin in your body. And now, what does that stuff actually do? I asked myself that as well. And I discovered that a rise in your serotonin level significantly improves your mood and energy, just from a bit of exercise. We're not talking 2 hours on a treadmill every day. See, when exercising for self-care, you should choose an activity that you love. It could be a regular run, brisk walking, swimming. I love all of the above, but especially swimming as well. Or just about any other thing that makes you feel alive. You deserve extra fulfillment from doing what you love. And it's the love that encourages persistence. And that's why in January the 1st, we normally force ourselves to do things we don't want to do, but we feel we need to do, and that's why we give up. Even though we're in a group of people, because most of the group give up usually. So, even if it seems that you don't have time for this, you will have to make time for this. Now or later. And now is the preferred option. So, do you need to be completely fit to start? Well, not at all, of course. That's why Gently does it. 15, 20 minutes 3 times a week would be an amazing start. And watch how you feel after it. See, exercise won't kill you, and your excuse of, but I don't want to be the first one, that should not be your excuse or any other excuse. See, I'm talking about moderate exercise, not spending every spare minute you've got in the gym, not running a treadmill for 2 hours a day, just starting with us three times a week. And you also need to hydrate, of course, because how much water do you really drink daily? It is powerful to drink at least 1 to 2, you probably more, but at least 1 to 2 liters of water a day. Not in your tea or coffee, that doesn't count. It must be part of your diet rate, because hydrating your body has also many benefits. Now, and as I said, you don't need a gym membership. You can do this. You can walk up and down the stairs at home. You can park your car a bit further away. You can walk around the block. All those kind of things you can do. You can't walk up the stairs, of course, if you live in a bungalow. Just saying. Don't look for the stairs. But press-ups, sit-ups. Use stuff for lifting weights, like a pack of sugar or something. You can do anything like that. Fill an empty bottle with water and use that. You can do so many things, but start an exercise program, then ensure consistency by entering that in your self-care or personal growth plan. And then we go to sleeping habits. Now, that's another interesting subject. I'm just having a look at that. Okay, sleeping habits, because I always knew sleeping habits had been an important part of self-care, but even for me, some of this information surprised me. And I'll touch on a subject. I'll touch on the surface of the subject. Put my teeth back in. But too many people are sleep deprived, and it takes its toll on our physical and mental health for sure. We seem to have made the maximum hard work pay Hard work pays just too seriously. At what price? See, we now spend too much time working and very little time sleeping. Scientists recommend that adults sleep at least 6 to 8 hours every night. And I can already hear you saying, oh, I can hear, I wish I could get that much sleep. I'd be lucky if I get it once or twice a week. And others are probably laughing and says, that's about twice as much sleep as I normally get any day of the week. And there could be all kinds of reasons for it, but you should learn to sleep a little bit more than you actually do. And the excuse is, 4 hours is enough. For who? And when? If you're going to be busy all day, you need to have a good night's rest. So how much sleep do you need? 6 to 8 hours, but it's got to be of quality sleep on a regular basis every night. Make changes to your routine so you can find enough time for your sleep. If you can't do 6 to 8, do 6. Try 6. If you're only doing 3 just now, that would be a great help to you. So getting enough sleep isn't about total hours of sleep. It's also important to get good quality sleep on a regular basis. So if you have trouble sleeping, and I need to go and have a look at this, 43, okay, I've got another half a minute again. But if you have trouble sleeping, or if you often still feel tired when you wake up, you might need to talk to a doctor or your boss. And if you're an entrepreneur, you better have a good talk in the mirror to the guy in the morning, because you're tired and you need better and more sleep. Because otherwise you already start the day badly. Now we're going to take another break on the radio again, and if you're with us, like and share this even on the radio, but join us, become a member of our Insiders Network by going to the website and clicking on the Join Us button and sign up either on our Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram and Twitter as well at ibgr.network, and we've got a YouTube station as well. So I will see you back in the next 3 minutes, so don't go away.